Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Tuesday, September 7th, and this local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow you. A relatively new COVID-19 therapy will be making its way to Flagler County. John Arking reports.
Local health officials say they have heard definitively that Governor DeSantis and the state health department have authorized a monoclonal antibody clinic to come to Flagler County, although the details still need to be worked out. Flagler County Medical Director Dr. Stephen Bickle says the therapy has been shown to reduce hospitalizations on average about 70%.
Monoclonals are a great therapy for the right groups. The problem has always been accessibility. And for the longest time, over a year, there was just one center in Orange City, not that easy to get to, limited capacity. So in the last couple months, we now have a center in Ormond through the state health department and the governor, and then now coming to Flagler. So it just makes it way easier to get the treatment. It's estimated that only about a third of the people who are eligible for this treatment and would benefit from it, which are basically high-risk patients that are at risk for bad outcomes from COVID, that only about a third of them are actually getting it. So it's a big missing piece of the fight against COVID.
Bickle says those who are considered high risk actually make up about half the adult population over 30 years old, saying that, for instance, anyone with a BMI over 25 would qualify, as well as those with diabetes, hypertension, and pulmonary conditions. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arking.
An elementary school student faces charges after deputies say they called 911 to report an active shooter at Rimfire Elementary School Thursday. Sheriff Rick Staley says it was all lies.
Deputies responded and during their investigation determined an 11-year-old student had called it in. The student was ultimately arrested for felony charges for making a false report. Hopefully the parents will discipline their child also and teach them the proper use of the 911 system and that prank calls will not be tolerated.
The 11-year-old girl who claimed in the 911 call that her name was Titus told deputies she was coaxed by other students to prank them. Help wanted. It's a familiar sign hanging in businesses in Flagler County. Amy Cherry has the story.
With federal pandemic unemployment assistance programs ending, more people should be seeking to fill those gaps in the workforce. But until then, Greg Blase, president and CEO of the Palm Coast Flagler Regional Chamber of Commerce, says the unemployment rate continues to lag in Flagler County.
Flagler County still has not recovered the amount of jobs that we had before the pandemic. As a matter of fact, we're 95 fewer jobs than we had in February of 2020. So our unemployment rate is 5.3%. We are in the top 20. We're number 19 of the highest unemployment rates in the state.
It's not all bad news, though.
The labor force is growing. The chamber partnered with CareerSource in a return to work program. And up here in Flagler County, we've had 1,400 residents come back into the labor force. The number of people on unemployment has gone down, 339 people last month, and jobs are starting to be created. So we're really kind of at this unique point in Flagler County where we're just about to finally get back to pre-pandemic levels on unemployment, but we still got a lot of work to do when we look at ourselves and compare ourselves regionally and statewide.
CareerSource Flagler Volusia is here to help you land a gig in this ever-changing job market. Marilyn Edwards with the organization tells WNZF about the types of work that are out there.
We have a lot of construction. We have some restaurant businesses that's looking. We have a couple of businesses that are looking for assistance with bookkeeping, but lots of construction because we are trying to grow Flagler County.
She says their trust program can help new hires too.
If you get a job, we can help you with some of your transportation assistance. Also your child care costs, your tools. If you need tools, we can also help you with that. What about your professional renewal license? We can help you with that. And your fingerprinting and background. So we do have some supporting programs.
Find all the job listings at employflorida.com. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
Flagler County opens up enrollment for its Fall Community Emergency Response Team Training Class. Rich Petschke has more.
Emergency Management Director Jonathan Lord tells us what the class entails.
It helps get people in our communities better prepared for dealing with a disaster. This is a 30-hour class offered on Monday and Wednesday evenings, and we're going to cover things like how to organize neighborhood teams, basic first aid, disaster psychology, basic fire safety and utility controls, very light search and rescue. We even talk a little bit about terrorism, and we end the class with a disaster simulation. So
the class begins September 27th. Lord says there is no charge to participate.
Visit us on our website at www.flaglercounty.gov/emergency and select volunteer and training from the menu.
The class is provided by the Emergency Management Office in partnership with the Fire Rescue Department and the nonprofit Flagler Volunteer Services. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
They call it Flagler OARS for short, but what is Flagler Open Arms Recovery Services?
Pam Bartolo is the executive director of Flagler Open Arms Recovery Services. She said the mission is threefold.
We provide public education, we provide policy advocacy, and most importantly, we provide peer support for anything and everything surrounding substance use disorder.
Bartolo was on Lifeline and said that the focus of the 501c3 organization is to educate the public on the importance of recovery from substance use disorder and why it is important to the community as a whole. Lifeline, sponsored by Advent Health, is every Saturday morning at 9 on WNZF, the podcast on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, we'll meet Danielle. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.